Greetings, gamers. Hope you enjoy National Tolkien Day. It's your main man, Mizzix, coming at you with another one. This is Archives Podcast, episode 44. Today we're going to be going over Anticheats, the iPad Air 5, and Apex Legends leaks.
And it's your boy Wenzel. So the first thing I want to talk about is gadgets. Do you have any cool gadgets around your house? This could include the kitchen,
I
bar
did, there's
gadgets.
I like wasting my money on gadgets. I've got quite a few. I've got I got my wife. It's not the name brand Slap Chop, but it's one of those. It's like you just
Oh, I
slam
thought you
down
were
on it.
just gonna. I thought you were gonna leave it as I got my
I
wife,
got my wife. That's a pretty
and
good
that's
gadget
it.
right there. I got that going for me.
The slap chop. I remember seeing that on TV back in like 2006.
Yeah, I got the Slap Chop. I got all kinds of garbage around here. I'm really a kind of a gadget nerd.
It's one of those things where you see one, you're like, yeah, I'll use
I'm
that.
like, that
I
looks.
can use that every day.
Never use it.
And then it lives in the
So
cabinet for
I
a month, and you're like,
actually
oh man.
That reminds me. So we're gonna get into Huel later, but I bought little mini blenders that are portable to blend up uh you know drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
That's a little gadget I got.
okay. So I have two gadgets that I use now frequently. One of them is a hand cranked chopping device, like a blender.
What?
I love it. It
A
also has a
hand
whip function, but I
crank
use that.
blender?
Yeah.
What kind
And
of
when
Amish
I got
stuff
it,
is
Dakota's like,
that?
why did you buy that? I'm like, well, because now I don't have to like lug the blender down off the top of the cabinets and like plug it
Is
in.
it
I just
smaller?
put this on the counter. It is.
Okay, that
It's
makes
about
sense.
it's like a large bowl
Okay.
that you would use for cereal,
I've got to see a picture of this. Do you
but
have a picture of this?
way easier to clean.
That
I
is
don't have a picture on me, but after this I can send you
okay.
one.
Yeah, because I wish I could show the podcast because I don't. But
Yeah.
I have a
But
blender. I got an actual. So when I moved back to the States from Korea, I actually went and got like one of those really good blenders because I planned on making myself like a spinach smoothie every morning, and it just
hmm
sits on the counter and it never gets used.
yeah. So
So
that's the upside of this one. It takes up significantly less space and it's way easier to clean.
yeah, I
Like I
think
rinse it out, put it in the
that's the big
dishwasher.
thing. Because I'll blend
The
up the
other
blender with
one,
just soap and water, and that's still like if you put peanut butter in there, that blending it up again with soap and water ain't fixing it.
no. You gotta like get in
And
there
you
with a
gotta like
brush.
disassemble it in like 4 or 5 different parts. And there's
hmm
like little nooks and
See,
crannies on like the lid that just never get clean.
this one has the bowl, the blades, and the
Mhm.
lid.
Mhm.
The handle you should never have to clean because it just slides into a slot, and you just pull that out. So like, there's three things you just toss them into the dishwasher.
Mhm. I
It was
think the
also like
blender's only
20
like
bucks at
4,
Kroger.
but it's also a really odd shape too. Like it's square and it's really tall, so like I don't know. It
If
seems
you
like
have
it
a
never gets
smaller
cleaned that
dishwasher,
well in the dishwasher.
yeah, that's why I've used this more than I've used the blender. Now, if I'm gonna make a smoothie, yeah, I'm not
So
using this. But if I
what
just
are
need to
you
like,
using this bowl, this hand cranked Amish blender for?
I've used it to make like marinades,
What?
and I've used it to like, yeah, because then I don't have to get a bowl out and use a whisk to mix it. I can just pour all my ingredients in there,
Okay.
give it a
Okay.
few cranks, and it's mixed. I've used it for chopping vegetables because I'm lazy.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Throw them in there and crank it real slow.
Mhm.
Shredded meat. It's actually really good at shredding meat.
Really? Okay.
Oddly
That makes
enough,
sense.
it's you get a little bit more. It's like driving. It's like you got the blender. That's an automatic. This it's a manual. You
Oh
got
my
more
gosh.
control over what you're
So
doing.
so the blender's like Windows and this thing's like Linux?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
In this instance, I
I'll
will
set you up
agree.
there.
Yep. The other kitchen gadget that I recently acquired, air fryer. Do you have an
I
air
about
fryer?
spat out my drink. You haven't had an air fryer yet?
No. I for the past like
Dude.
2 years, everyone's like, "Oh, I have an air fryer." I'm like, "Those things are stupid.
No.
You have an oven. It's the same thing."
No. I
And then
don't
one of
know
my
what it is.
coworkers, it tastes better.
Yeah, I think it's the air circulation is really what it is. Because in an oven, it's just hot air. Whereas the air
Yeah,
fryer, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure it's circulating air. Because I hear that fan
I
spinning
would
like
agree.
crazy.
Yup. But my coworker was like, "I made chicken parm in my air fryer the other day." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I just chicken patties with a little splash of marinara on them, and then
Mm-hmm.
for less like 5 seconds, I put cheese on them, and
Mm-hmm.
then I made the noodles separately. And I pulled them out and done." I was like, "That's stupid. You have the other equipment to do that." And he's like, "But this took like 40 minutes in time for
Is that
everything."
really quicker?
That's what I thought. And then he's like, "You can also make mozzarella sticks in about 7 minutes," and that's where he got me.
So yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was quicker, but when you say 40 minutes to cook some chicken, that doesn't seem right to me. I tell you what, I don't think it take. I don't know what universe that guy's living in, but it does not take 40
I think
minutes
that
to cook
also
chicken.
included like I think that included boiling water, making the noodles, and like preparing
Okay,
everything.
okay. Now
So
I
I
could buy
got
that.
one
If he said it took 40 minutes to like do the whole thing, I'd be like, okay, that's reasonable. But 40 minutes cooking, no.
because we get off at 10 every night, get home
Hmm.
10:30. I don't want to like make a meal.
No, that's why you
Dakota's
should
in
get some
sleep. I gotta
Huel.
wake up and I have Huel,
I know. I'm just saying
but
for
I
the
can't
audience,
have.
you guys should have some Huel.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I bought it and at the same time a bag of pizza pockets.
Hmm.
Oh
You got to get
man,
sweet potato
have
fries.
I been missing out on? Oh, I've got. I went to Winco.
Uh huh.
Got like my freezer is just all stuff for the air fryer.
Good. Yeah, you got to try sweet potato
I
fries.
might
Those are
make some
real good.
mozzarella. I found like chicken fingers, like what Burger King sells.
Hmm. We got
Like
some of those too. Those are
threw
really good.
those in there.
We got spicy chicken
Yeah.
fingers.
Ooh,
Those are
I'm
baller.
missing out. I also got some dino nuggies.
Okay, we don't have those here.
'Cause the dinosaur shape makes them taste better.
Obviously, kind of jealous. We don't. My wife
But
doesn't let us get dino nugs.
lame. Sounds like you need a new wife. I hope she listens to this.
No.
All right, moving on
Yeah, we just spent like 8 minutes talking
to
about food on a gaming podcast, but that's all right.
yeah,
The main man
moving on
Patrick
to
is sick tonight, so we gotta buy some time
yeah, we
to
got
make up for our man.
to move on.
Schmoving on.
Moving on. Worst anti-cheat systems you've ever seen. So I've also got to think about Halo
Mhm.
and their new system to combat cheaters.
Mhm.
They're making you play a set of standard matches before you can play ranked. To me, that's stupid. Because if you're
Hmm.
gonna hack, you might as well just like hack through these
Yeah.
and then continue being scum.
You
So
know if
what is the worst
hmm.
anti-cheating software you've seen?
You know
Because it's
that's
been on the rise.
that's kind of tough to say. I want to say RuneScape's anti-cheat because if you've played RuneScape, you know it's just full of people botting. They just leave their
Yep.
bots running 24 hours a day, and then they sell their botted GP for I don't worthless basically, flooding the market with just endless amounts of gold, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's clearly the worst. But I know we've talked about the best before, and you can get some real creative ways. There's a lot of creative solutions.
I still think my favorite is Call of Duties, where they just don't do damage anymore.
Yeah. Well, the thing with that though is then they know that they've been caught, right?
Yeah.
I liked Titanfall, where they would just match them against each
Ooh.
other. You know?
You could have a cheater battle royale where who has the best cheats in the end wins,
Hmm.
and
Well,
then their
Titanfall
IP
wasn't the
gets
battle
banned.
royale, but we'll talk about
No,
Apex
I know,
later.
I know.
But yeah, I like it because
I'm just
depending on like how much they're hacking, like if you just kind of like got a little bit of an aimbot going for you, you'll get matched up with other people who got just a little bit of an aimbot going, right? Because it had kind of like a sus level, I'll call it. Where like if you were just very obviously shooting people through everything, you're just standing still, and it's like snapping onto people at different angles. You doing 180 snapping onto people, like you're getting matched up with other people like that. But if you're just like, hey, this guy's a little sus, we're gonna put him in the little sus lobby, and
mhm.
if you became a little less sus after that, then they're like, okay, maybe he's just really good. Maybe he's just having a really good night. Maybe he did cocaine. Who knows? That's none of our business. But I really liked that system. That's probably my favorite. I do like what is I forget what it's called, but Counter Strike has a system. What's it called? I forget. Oh, I wish I knew. Do you know the name?
No,
It's like a
isn't
community
it like
based
Battle
thing.
Eye?
What?
Oh, it's community based. I
Ye-
said Battle Eye, but that's not
oh
community based.
no, it's not Battle Eye. So I forget what it's called, but the important thing is once you're like a really high level player, they'll give you access to watch people play. And if someone gets reported enough, they will send a random 10 minutes of gameplay to a bunch of trusted members of the community. So then these trusted members of the community will watch this random 10 minutes and decide if they think that you're hacking or cheating or anything like that. And I mean, that's really good. But then they also, at the same time, when they did that, they also made the game free to play, which just kind of like, you know, opened you up to a lot of hackers and whatnot. So that's not a good move. You need to make the game at least like $5.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other anti-cheat systems that have failed.
Hmm.
What was on
Whatever
Days?
Warzone had going on like a year ago, I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
I remember seeing videos of like cars just flying around and hitting people through buildings, and I was like,
It's like Harry Potter going on in there. Yeah.
how, how did you miss this?
Yeah.
Like, how is it not suspicious that this dude got 13 kills with a vehicle?
Yeah.
Moving on. So I've recently been delving through older games
Hmm.
from like not like early 2000s but mid 2000s,
Hmm.
like Fallout 4.
I've been watching a lot of Fallout videos recently.
With a couple hundred mods,
No.
pretty fun.
Are you doing a playthrough on your channel with that?
I was now I needed to make space for another game, so I had to delete
Uh,
the 100 gigs. It was 100 gigs plus Fallout, so almost
that's almost as bad as Warzone.
yeah. That also might be the size of Warzone because
I
Fallout I
know
think is
Warzone's like at
150.
least 120.
I think it's up to like the 200s now.
It very well might be. I was being very generous with that 120 guesstimate.
But the new Borderlands is coming out, and I want to
This
play
Friday?
that.
Ah, that's tomorrow, actually. Technically, that is
Huh?
tomorrow.
The new what?
Borderlands is coming out tomorrow.
Borderlands?
Hmm.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, but I don't think you
It's
can
out.
play it until tomorrow.
Today's the 25th.
It is the
I'm pretty sure you
25th.
can play it.
I thought it. I
Seen
thought I
videos
read
of
it
people
came out
playing it.
on Friday.
See, the big thing is it's not out on Steam. They're doing what they did with Borderlands 2, where it was an Epic's
You know what?
game exclusive for a year.
It is out. Yeah, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Yep.
I thought it was out on. That's
I thought it
embarrassing.
was like I knew it came out
That's
today,
embarrassing. Oh
so I
my
was like,
god.
it's like,
Oh
oh
my
man, I'll go get it
god.
on Steam real quick and start playing it.
Wait, hold on. It is Friday.
It's
Oh,
not out
okay.
on
Hold on.
Steam.
This ain't my fault. Hold on. Hold on. The podcast was delayed by one day. This is not my fault. It is in fact Friday. We were just arguing.
How do you not know what day it is?
Hold on. It is an hour and a half into Friday. Normally we record this on Wednesday going into Thursday, so I thought it would be Thursday the 25th. It's in fact Friday the 25th. I said it came out on Friday. It's Friday.
So this is your fault.
No, no, no. It came out on Friday.
No,
I
you're
let's
you're
blame it on
wrong
Pat.
because
Can
you
we
you
blame it on
don't know what
Patrick?
day it is. No,
Okay,
we're
well.
blaming it on you because you don't know what day it is.
I said it's coming out on Friday, which moving on.
Just moving on to not knowing what day of the week it is.
I have a
Um,
job, I promise.
that's the other thing. You work. How do you like show up and like today is Thursday? I'm
Well,
gonna do Thursday work.
hold on. I work until midnight. So when I walk out, it's a different day than when I walk in. Because you walk out like a couple minutes after you get out, you know? Like you got to
Yeah.
go and collect all your garbage, maybe rock a piss. It's a different day by that point.
See, I'm an hourly peon. As soon as it is 10 o'clock, actually, that's a lie. I get relieved at like 9:53.
Are
I
you out
clock
of the
out.
building at 9:53 or do you got to walk to get your garbage?
I don't have any garbage to pick up.
Okay, that's fair. I do bring my lunch most. I bring my Huel most days.
See, I drink my Huel on my last R&R break,
Mhm.
which is at like 8:30.
Mhm.
So I'll drink it then, and usually I'm outside
Mhm.
drinking it because I don't want to listen to the inside sounds. And I just put it in my car, and I go back inside. So when
Mm.
I leave, our clock in device, you just touch your ID badge to it, and I walk out the doors.
Mm.
Then we have a little table where radios live. It goes ID badge,
So you
unclip the
get
radio,
relieved
plunk it down.
9:53.
You
Are
do.
you out of the building at 9:53 or are you out of the building at
I'm
like
out of
9:57?
probably 9:55, but I'm not off work till 10.
So, if I get
I'm
off
leaving early
if
every
I
day.
get off at midnight, I don't walk out of the building at midnight.
I don't walk out of the building at 10. This is and I still know what day it is when I leave work.
Well, that's because you don't get off work right when it's changing days.
No. And I would still know what day it is because I'd look at my watch and be like, oh, it's 1:32 a.m. That means
Well,
it's the next day. That means it's the 25th,
I don't
also
know when's
Friday.
I'm not buying that you would keep track of all that. I think you're trying to
So when you click
flex.
your lock screen on your phone, does it tell you what day it is?
Yes.
You have no excuse.
I wasn't
Because
looking
I
at my lock
know,
screen when I was telling you about the day that Tiny Tina's come out.
but you can easily, like, I look at my phone when
Mhm.
I leave work because I got to check to see if I have any
Mhm.
messages. I don't need to unlock it to see that. I just look at the
Mhm.
little emblems.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right above them, Friday, March 25th.
Mhm.
So you, sir, are at fault for not knowing the day.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
moving on, back to what we were talking about. What's a game you would like remastered?
Hmm.
Any game. Unlimited budget. Making it 4K, 1080,
One
updating everything.
$1 zillion budget. Hmm.
1 zillion.
That's tough. Probably Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Not the original?
No, because Black Ops 2 was much better than the original.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Number one, the spawns were
Let me
one
hear it.
zillion times better than the original. The maps, one, they're about 100 times better than the original. The maps on the original were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, especially like Firing Line. Firing Line was really good. The maps were better. The spawns were better. There's league play, so there's a competitive rule set. I don't have to play with Nova Gas. I don't have to play with trophy systems. There's reasonable kill streaks. There's objective based game modes that make sense. It's much more balanced. The weapons are better. I tell you what, if you join any competitive Black Ops 1 game, 95% of the people are using the FAMAS. If you join a Black Ops 2 competitive game, people are using the MSMC, the AN94, um, the I forgot the gun that's like a 4 round burst. Um, people are using the people are actually using snipers, but um, that was also the second year that they had a pick 10 system because in Modern Warfare 3, it wasn't quite a pick 10, but it was like you could take away certain things from your class and give you a little bit extra perks. There was a pick 10 where you could take away you could choose to have no third perk and get an extra attachment. You could choose
Hmm.
I'm not having any grenades. I'm getting an extra perk.
Okay. Okay.
There's hard point. There wasn't even hard point in Black Ops 1. Hard point is such a great game mode. Yeah, it's
I'm not
definitely
gonna
Black
lie,
Ops 2
I
all day.
didn't play Black Ops 2 multiplayer very much.
Okay. No, I was a fiend for Black Ops 2 multiplayer. I'd be staying. That's like all I did for a year. Maybe from like January until the time Ghost came out, that was like 85% of what I did. And the other 15% was like messing around on the internet.
Ghost was good.
It wasn't
I
bad.
wish it did better.
It wasn't bad. It was not as good as Black Ops 2.
I liked its extinction mode. It was a
That
cool,
was all right.
cool.
Obviously, not as good as Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 had transit. Do you remember transit?
Yeah, I
That's
played a
way
lot
better
of
than
zombies.
That's way better than whatever Ghost had to offer.
I remember playing Transit and Patrick being like, "Yo, you can go to the first, you can go to the World at War area."
Hmm.
I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, hop off the bus at this point." And we ran back there, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, transit was
I think
insane.
it also had Mob of the Dead, didn't it?
That came out later on, yeah, but it did.
That's my favorite zombies map because that's the first time you got to see the hatchet
That was a great
that you
zombies
could
map.
throw. Mm-hmm. Had
So
a lot of
definitely
cool
Black Ops
Easter
2.
eggs. I'm gonna go with Halo Combat Evolved.
That was a tough one. I was thinking about it because my second choice was Halo 2, but they had the Halo 2 anniversary that came out
Ooh.
about I want to say 8 years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they kind of
I just
remastered it.
I was just thinking of like the first mission when you're on the ring. That would be so cool in modern graphics.
That would be. I
When you're
thought
held up in that building
that was the inspiration for Halo 5's campaign.
was the first ring.
Yeah, of Combat Evolved, that second mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was. I'm pretty sure that was the inspiration for most of the campaign for Halo 5 because they wanted an open world like that one, where you kind
Mm.
of it's still kind of the intro at first, but then after that they're like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, here's these objectives, go solve them, and that's what they wanted to do,
Yeah,
and that's
I
why it
like
took
that.
so long.
Did you hear that Halo Infinite pushed back campaign co-op and Forge mode?
I told you guys that would happen. I
You
called
did.
it.
You were correct.
Hmm.
And I haven't touched that game since the last time we played.
Yeah. Um. I mean, I've had a little bit of an itch, but not enough to like uninstall Linux and go play multiplayer. I really like the gunplay of it. I mean, it's a really solid base game, but again, just not enough content to, you know,
And having a
get play
campaign
it.
that feels like it's designed for co-op by yourself is not fun.
That too. That game seems real fun co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to go open
Because
world with my pals. I would install Windows just for that.
like snipers will have like a significantly bigger purpose
Yeah.
in that terrain.
Yeah.
Also, I want all of us to get a warthog,
Hmm.
and each person loads it up with marines,
What I
like
was gonna
three
say
transport hogs.
is like you have so once you get a little bit into the campaign, you get to like the fire base and you can you can get some good stuff going. You're like, oh, I can get a sniper and a bulldog and a warthog full of marines, and then you're like, I can use like the sniper or the bulldog with a battle rifle, and then like I'm like, the Warhog with the Marines or the Warhog without the Marines. Either way, I got a Marine on the gun, or I just got a bunch of these dudes who are gonna hop out and kind of distract them for a little bit. Neither of these are super useful. Like if I had someone to play with,
Yeah,
I'd be taking the Warhog with the gun all day long.
yeah. And the air, I don't know if you got far enough to play with the air vehicles.
No, I didn't.
They're not very good. They're
No.
super weak, and their guns don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it seemed like in the multiplayer that was that way too. It was like, I'm like, what's this guy doing up in the air? Like, I'm in a BR, and I'm not quite messing this guy up with a battle rifle while he's in like the gunship, but he ain't doing a whole lot to me either. You know,
You're
you
giving him a
know?
run for his money,
Yeah, yeah.
and you'll
Especially if
win
he's not
that
very
gunfight
good.
too.
Yeah,
In the campaign, the enemies have skewers. It's a one-shot kill. So if
yeah,
they skewer you, you have fun respawning.
yeah.
Moving on to our favorite battle royale game, Fortnite.
Mhm.
They have removed building in the latest update.
Good.
So all those kids that can crank fat 90s can no longer crank fat 90s.
Good.
I'm thinking about reinstalling it.
You know,
Would you like to play some non-building Fortnite?
I don't know. So the thing was, right? I've always been a fan of games with I'll call it movement awareness, right? You got to be aware of where you are on a map. So like
Mm-hmm.
Black Ops 2, Halo 2, both neither of those games would reward you for just being out in the open, right? Especially not Halo 2. There was no sprint, there was no movement. If you got yourself in a crappy situation, you're just in a crappy situation, right? Obviously, there's sprint in Call
Mm-hmm.
of Duty, so not quite the same thing. But the thing that was my main thing about Fortnite is people just be they'll just be running out in the middle of in like the widest of open fields, no F's given, and you can't. There's no ADS in Fortnite, so you just kind of put your little reticle on them, and you're like, you shoot 3 times, and now your reticle's 2 inches big, right? So there's just a
They
little
do have guns
speck.
that you can ADS with now.
I know there was snipers before, but they had a huge drop off, and you kind
No,
of had to get a
there's,
one
there's
shot.
rifles too,
Okay.
like ARs.
So that was always my biggest thing with Fortnite is like people are just running out in the open and I couldn't kill him, right? I'll see this
Mm-hmm.
dude 200 yards away and it's like if I start shooting at him, he's just going to build. And I'm just fucking here with my cock in my hand because there's a guy 200 yards away, but guess what? He'll build a wall right there and it's instant too. That was the other thing. I get if you build a wall and it takes time to build and it's building health as time goes on or whatever, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like, if you just throw a wall down, it shouldn't have 200 health. It should have like 1 health. That was stupid to me. I think that
Yeah,
would have solved a
and
lot of problems.
that's one of the reasons I want to give it a try is because they can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that was a big problem.
No walls.
And I
But
get,
I also, if I'm gonna play a BR, I'm gonna go play something else.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I get building has a skill, right? Like if you see those insane dudes, they're building like these huge
Mm-hmm.
ass towers in like zero time at all. But that also means that they have no movement skill. They have no map awareness. They have, they're just gonna build a tower. If I start shooting at them, oh, yeah, there's a tower in front of me now, and this guy's standing on it because I started shooting at him, even though he's running out in the open like a Neanderthal. That really grinded my gears.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What?
I think we need to make that a new topic.
Okay, I could get down on that.
Wanna know what grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears?
Texans.
Texans?
Texans. They don't know how
Texans?
to drive if it's not sunny.
Okay, okay.
Like it rained the other day.
Uh huh.
It was a pretty big rain. There was wind
Yep,
warnings and tornado
I
warnings.
got that.
And I'm trying to get to work, and I'm going like 60 on the freeway, and I hit a wall of traffic
Hmm.
in a spot there's never traffic.
Yeah.
And like I had to take an alternate route because they weren't they were going like 20. And I was like, oh, there must be an accident. So I
It's just
looked it up.
raining.
It's just raining. And I get to work and they're like, I can't believe the weather's so bad outside. I can't believe everyone made it in. And I'm like, it's raining. It's just water falling from the sky. And they're acting like it's the end of the world.
Yeah. It's kind of the opposite here in Florida because we had that. I assume it's the same storm system where Louisiana got jacked up big time.
Mm-hmm.
I am no wuss to driving in the rain, right? But even
Yeah.
I was like, this is a little sketchy. I have never just been driving straight and started hydroplaning before. And I started doing that and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll go the speed limit. And maybe I won't go 15 over.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Speaking
in
of
Florida, they're
speeding,
like, hey, man, what? There's a hurricane. What's the big deal, man? Just come on into work. You know?
yeah, no big deal. We got
Exactly.
things to strap down now.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of driving, I had to take a defensive driving course recently,
Yeah.
and the first thing is you get a test with 20 questions. It's not it's not it's like you do it yourself in your little
Yeah.
booklet. 20 questions. It's a 0 to 4 ratio. 4 is often, 0 is never.
Hmm.
And it's all like, do you use your phone? Do you take phone calls?
All the
And
time.
like speeding, do you take corners hard? I scored a 36
Out of what, 40?
and I had the highest score. Yeah, I had the highest score out of the class.
Was it really at a 40?
And I heard one it was. I had one dude in the back. He was like, "You shouldn't have a license."
So what you're saying, like,
And I
oh,
looked at
I'm
him.
drifting around the corner, I'm getting into gunfights every
That
day, I'm driving on my
that's what they
phone.
made it seem like I
Yeah.
was doing.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there I'm like, well, like phone calls, my Jeep just like I can answer those in my car and do it through my car. Text messages, I can do the same thing.
Hmm.
But they also consider like adjusting the radio or adjusting the temperature distracted driving.
You gotta be fucking. Now,
Yeah, I was like, you
actually, the first time I got pulled over, it's because I forgot my phone.
really?
I am so serious about this.
What
So
were you
remember,
doing?
I got pulled over in a school zone, like my third day on base, right?
Hmm.
So the reason I was, they have like flashing lights, and everything. Oh, it's just like a speed limit sign with some
Yeah.
flashing lights above it, and the reason I wasn't looking at it is because I forgot my phone to play music, so I was messing with the radio that I almost never mess with, trying to find some decent music out in the middle of nowhere, Mexico. Or New Mexico, I mean.
Same thing.
Yeah, so I was like, I was messing with my radio this whole time. I'm like, oh fuck it, this station sucks. This station sucks. Let me try AM. Maybe there's something talking about some. There's like six radio stations, right? And so I'm like, jamming on the next button to try and find something, right? And I missed this giant sign that's got lights and everything on it. Was going like 25 and a 15 in the school zone. Got pulled over because I didn't have my phone. If I had my phone, I would have been playing some normal music. I would have been listening to some normal talk show or something, and I wouldn't have gotten pulled over.
Yeah. See, did you get a ticket out of that?
I did. I got my driving privileges revoked for 5 days on base.
Oh man, how'd you get to work?
So they was actually revoked over a 4 day weekend, which was very convenient. And then that one day, I
Oh,
actually worked with someone who had a license and no car. So I just had him drive me to work that day.
there you go.
That worked out.
Loopholes.
hmm Either
Thankfully, they
way,
didn't
it's
take
only
my
one.
license.
It's only one work week. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's that's not bad.
Yeah,
It's moderately inconvenient.
yeah.
Moving on. I'm out of topics.
Alrighty, we're gonna be taking a quick break, Rooney, and we will be right back. All right. Welcome back from the break. I hope you liked that little dad sound I tried to make there. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was our Heal review, or at least Heal initial thoughts.
Mmm.
Because I know you got it. I don't know if Patrick got it, but he ain't here, so
I did.
we don't have to wait for that. Have you been busting open all the flavors? Cause I paid for 5 and I got a sixth bag. Uh, what
Okay.
so I've only busted open the salted caramel and the cinnamon roll, and those are both really good. And I haven't tried like mixing peanut butter and banana because I just haven't opened those bags yet. What are your initial thoughts on this little thing we're trying out here?
So I've opened every bag and tried each one of them.
How many
I
bags did
have
you buy?
chocolate. I got 3.
Okay,
The minimum to make it through the challenge in case I didn't like it.
okay,
So I got the cafe latte,
okay,
the chocolate, and the banana.
okay. I didn't get
And
the
now
cafe latte.
I have that in my mornings
Uh huh. Does that actually have
with
caffeine in
coffee.
it? Okay.
It does not. That's why I still drink coffee.
Uh huh.
But I was pretty surprised
Mhm.
on how good they taste.
Yeah. Cause
Because I was
I
like, oh man, this is going to be like a gross thing.
yeah I tried
And
the
I was,
2.0 and it was not very good. It was
hmm
like just above wet cardboard.
mm.
And these ones
But
are much better.
yeah, I really like these ones.
Yeah, I tasted it and for like the first time, and I was surprised by how good it was.
Hmm
Do you have any heel
Yeah, those
tips?
I Huel tips.
Yeah, because there's a couple things that grind my gears, right? So one thing is
Hmm
the bottle that shaker comes with, it's too narrow for most like conventional protein holders. Because they sell the blender bottles with the stacked cups on the bottom that you can
hmm
lock them into the bottom. I got a couple of those, and it's too small for those. So like every time I try and dump it
Interesting.
in, I like spill some just because the little protein cup holder is narrower than the shaker it came with.
Okay.
So I need to have like a funnel or something. Or so I was having that problem, right? So what I did was I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll just pre-mix this up, right? I'll mix it. I'll just take it straight from the bag with the scoop into the bottle. And then I was like, man, hold on. If I just let this stuff soak for a couple of hours, this gets like way better. I didn't have any chunks or anything like that. I told you because I was like, man, this is like zero chunks.
hmm
Do you have any tips?
I I have a coworker
Mm-hmm.
that also drinks Huel.
Really?
They have it for their breakfast because
Uh
I
huh.
brought my cup in. And they're like, "Hey, Huel, you're a hooligan.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate that. They couldn't come up with a better name.
You're that's what came up on. That's what's on the box. If you read the lid of the box
I
on the
know.
inside, it
I
says,
know.
"Welcome
I
to the
read.
hooligan
I
family."
know. I hate that. I hate the word hooligan. That is. Oh my gosh.
It's so good. What do you mean?
Oh God. It's.
You're also welcome to the hooligan
Oh
family.
my gosh.
We're both hooligans.
Jeez.
But no,
It's.
because I was like, it's kind of chunky because I left mine in the fridge overnight. They're
Uh
like,
huh.
"Oh, did you add another scoop?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Next time, add another scoop for a total of 3.
Uh huh.
Shake it again."
Hmm.
Did that this morning. Way better.
So you do the initial 17. You add two. Shake it. Wait all night. Add a third.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Because they
Cause.
said the biggest problem they have. They also said if you take a butter knife and like go around the edges
Mm-hmm.
after you shake it,
Mm-hmm.
then shake it again because it likes to stick to the sides and the
It
bottom.
does. Yeah.
That will help alleviate some of the chunk.
Okay. Because that whole like leaving it for 4 hours, I have no chunk problem, but obviously it seems like there's quite a bit stuck to the side, so maybe I'm not getting my full 400 calories.
Ah.
Also, I ought to try that out because it seems like 400 calorie increments. There's not a whole lot of room for you know, like having a 600 calorie lunch. Because drinking two of them for lunch, that seems like a
Mm-hmm.
little bit much. I don't want to. that seems like a lot of liquid. If I have that and like a bottle of water, or like a, a normal reusable size bottle of water, like 32 ounces, that's kind of a lot of liquid to be drinking at lunch. That's like
Yeah.
64 ounces of liquid. That's what is it? That's is that a quart? That might be that might be 2 quarts. Huh. Oh, hold on. So if I could just have 600 calories for lunch, uh, you know, okay, that's almost 2 liters. 64 ounces is almost 2 liters of liquid. So that's kind of excessive, right?
Hmm.
But maybe if I do that, I ought to try that. Because I think 600 calories for lunch seems like the right maneuver. Moving on.
Yeah. What were we talking about before we started talking about Huel?
I was just giving my that was my initial topic. I wanted to get our initial thoughts on
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay.
Also, they have a pretty good shirt. I don't know. Have you? Do you like the shirt?
I do like the shirt.
It's a good quality shirt. I will say that.
How
So
how many meals a day are you having Huel?
so I've maybe been having like 3 of the 400 calorie meals a day. Not
So you're just
necessarily
not.
every day. There was one day I just didn't have any, just because I woke up, I had Black
Mm.
Rifle coffee, I went out to lunch with my coworkers, and then I came home and I had Whataburger. So I missed that day. Um, I think the next day I just had it for lunch. So and
I'm
then
averaging two a day
yeah, I'm also think I should shoot for 2 a day.
because it's a good breakfast because I don't want
Yes,
to cook anything in the morning.
yes,
And then for me, it's a good lunch
yeah,
because I can like go back there, slam it, scroll through Facebook for like 3 minutes, and then go back to work.
uh huh,
And then when I get home, I'm like, man, I want some solid food. Then
yeah,
I resort to my air fryer.
mhm, yeah. I think if I had that 600 one, because I was trying to get like, because just having 800 calories a day in it, that doesn't seem like enough, right? Like if you
No,
have a 400
the
calorie breakfast, that's like a hot
because
pocket and a half. That's not quite enough.
that's what yeah, that's what I do for breakfast. Because my mornings aren't. I don't do much in the mornings.
Yeah.
I have the 600 one for lunch
Mhm.
because it's mid work. I'm getting tired, getting hungry,
Uh huh.
and I can have that. And I'm like, oh man, I'm ready. And then
Yeah.
by the time I get home, I'm like, I like it because I'm also getting home and not wanting a full meal.
Yeah.
So I have just like a small amount of fries and a couple chicken fingers,
Mhm.
chicken fingers, and I'm good.
Just moving on.
It's not gonna be
Apex.
fun to throw up.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
Hmm. I haven't thought about throwing up Huel, but oh, there's one thing. Have you noticed your farts getting a lot stinkier?
I have.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, just making sure. So I was actually reading about that. It looks like it's some type of fiber imbalance.
So we need more fiber.
I think your body isn't used to getting the proper amount of fiber, is what it is.
Oh,
So it's
I
got
gotta I gotta
excess fiber to get rid of, is what it is.
I crop dusted some of
And
the residents the other day by accident.
supposedly, after a while, some people don't have that issue anymore once they get onto like a regular diet with it. Other people, it's just an issue forever. I got someone good today. I farted and then they just had to come up and stand by my desk. And I was like, well, this is awkward because I smell it. I'm pretty sure you smell it. Anyway, Apex Legends had a leak today. It looks like they're working on 9 different characters. So it
Nine.
seems like the game's kind of been declining in popularity for the last little while. But this
Yeah.
seems like either they're fixing for a big update or they've got years worth of content because they're releasing like one character every 3 months. You know, I don't know how you feel about this because they could either have years worth of content or they're about to release this big update, and a lot of the game's balance is revolved around the character's abilities. So introducing a lot of them all at once doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
Yeah. I think a slow release is better because
I
then you get
agree.
like there's more content you can get because you're gonna want people to play this one for they're gonna main it for like a couple months.
Yeah, and whenever they come out, they're always OP.
Yeah.
And yeah, because all the characters have abilities, which is a unique thing about the game. I don't know of any other battle royales where the characters have abilities. Obviously, there's perks in Warzone, but that's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how to feel about it honestly, because this would mean that they're just holding out on like years worth of content from us, though.
That
You know,
wouldn't surprise me if a gaming company did that.
it is EA too, so. And then obviously there's other maps and guns that are supposedly in the work. But the main thing were the 9 characters that were found. Because the game really revolves around those characters. And they do a lot better of
Yeah.
writing than other companies.
I
So,
like them because each time they release a character, there's like a solid backstory behind them, and it's not
yeah.
just like, here's Bobby Ferguson from the Ferguson Tractor Supply.
Yeah. Do you do you remember the Loba?
I do.
Or it wasn't Loba. Hold on. Revenant. It was Revenant.
Yeah, he's the one who like the his cutscene was him killing a bunch of people
No,
at a dinner party.
no, so that was Loba's, right? Because remember, before Revenant, there was the boxer guy. He had like the big fist and everything,
Hmm.
and he had like a big fist. I guess his ability is like, oh, I'm gonna punch people really hard or something like that, right? And then Revenant came in when like he's getting in, because it's like the Apex games or whatever.
Hmm.
And he was getting interviewed by like some, I don't know, it was like some fake sports interview thing. And then during the interview, like the power cut out, and then Revenant came in and killed him. And that's when they revealed like this guy really isn't in the game. Revenant's the main character. Because we were all like theorizing about, oh, this guy with the big fist or whatever is gonna, I don't, people are being
Oh,
nerds
you're
about it,
right.
but
You're right.
yeah, I thought that was super cool because they like, they no joke killed that dude off that we were all getting hyped for. Yeah, that was actually really
Hmm.
good writing. I credit that to Respawn and not Electronic Arts, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The good one.
So, moving on. So, the EU is getting some new legislation coming on in here, right? So it's called the Digital Marketing something or other. I can't believe I didn't remember that. So anyway, the EU is basically putting in a bunch of legislation against digital marketing applications like Facebook. Obviously, they don't like
Hmm.
big companies. They want to break up these big conglomerates. So there's a couple things here that are in the bill that I kind of want to get your opinion on. So,
Okay.
one of the things that they have is that they want messaging apps to be intercompatible with other smaller apps if the smaller app wants to be compatible with your service. Do you think that the EU should be like forcing the these companies to work with each other? Like, so say you wanted to have like, I don't know, some small messaging app, right? So say you wanted to message your what's I don't even know an off-brand messaging app, right? But say you wanted to message like, you wanted to use Facebook Messenger, your buddy's like, I'm only going to use WhatsApp. the EU law would like force them to work together.
I
Now,
don't like that.
you know that might be convenient, but I don't think you should be forcing people to work or forcing companies to work together. Uh, you know, and I think part of that is partly out of principle and then partly out of you know technical necessity. Obviously, if you're gonna have your own app, you can lock it down your own way. That's a security thing, and then obviously you can create your own unique features that you don't have to share with other people. What's your take on why you don't like that?
I don't think like Messenger and WhatsApp to me are very different
Hmm.
because Messenger was originally just a section of Facebook.
Exactly.
Like that would essentially be like, hey, Facebook, go work with this other company that's not nearly as big and help because eventually they would help each other out,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
And I don't think a bigger company should have to deal with like this little company's issues.
yeah. The other thing was, uh, those aren't the best examples because they're both owned by Facebook or Meta now. But I don't even know a smaller messaging app.
Kick.
Kick. Yeah. Say they wanted to force you to work with Kick or AOL Instant Messaging, right?
No.
This new law would if the smaller company wants to integrate with this messaging app, you're forced to do it. Um, I mean, obviously we're in America, so this wouldn't affect us, or it
Yeah.
might not. So the thing is, right? Like companies don't normally make different versions of their app, right? There's just Facebook, and you
Yeah.
use Facebook because they just go with whatever the strongest version is. And in America, like if California makes companies do something stricter, they just go
Yeah.
with the strictest version, right? That's why you always see on packaging, like I forgot what I bought the other day, but it was like this is hazardous in the state of California, and I'm like, well, I'm in Florida, you know, because they're not going to change everything up and make a bunch of different versions for every different locality.
That's one
There's,
of the people I buy ammunition from.
mm-hmm.
Every time I check out, they ask, "Do you live in California?" If you do, it's an extra $50 in shipping because they have to like package it a special way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Neither did I, and I was like, "This is stupid." Thankfully, I live in Texas. I'm
Um,
like, "Yes, send me my." And it comes from Oklahoma, so it comes like next day.
oh, that's
And
convenient.
the last time I got it, it went to my complex, like my apartment's office,
Uh huh.
and they picked it up for me because they're good peoples. And they handed it to me, and they're like, "So
Was it
we
mega
had to."
heavy?
It was. I
Okay.
ordered like 500 rounds of 30 cal, 100 rounds of 30-30, some
Jeez,
more
man,
30-30, like
Mr. High
100 rounds.
Roller over there.
It's like $500.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's the cheapest way you can get ammo right
It
now is
is. It
ordering it
is.
online,
Buying in bulk is always the cheapest, but
and I do that like once a month because the Dirty 30 works now.
okay. I don't
It
go
only
shooting
costs
off
me.
enough to.
Well, that's the thing is I probably go like once every 2 weeks,
Hmm.
but I order ammo once a month. So I
Yeah.
always order, and like sometimes I don't go,
Mm-hmm.
but for the times that I do go up to like Paris to go shooting with the boys, I'm gonna need a lot of ammo.
Hmm.
And you never know when the government's gonna collapse and you have to become a tyrannical warlord.
Well, yeah. I guess you could take over your complex, maybe.
Probably not. There's a lot of other gun-toting guys around here.
You got a point. Maybe you could get in warlord a warlord shared. What is it? A warlord
Commune.
timeshare. Maybe you're the warlord from like 2 to 6, and someone else will take like you know, the 8 to midnight shift.
So I'm thinking we would just like each warlord would get their building and we'll make a fort, kind of like
A
we'll be
warlord
Vikings.
alliance.
Yeah, we'll be Vikings
Hmm.
without the raping and pillaging. Well, without the raping.
All right. So part of this legislation that I was talking about, it wasn't just forcing messaging apps to integrate, right? There was another thing where you could where they also want your device to they want to force the manufacturer or the operating system or whatever to pick your digital assistant. So if you want Alexa on your iPhone, they're going to force I didn't want to set off my thing. If you want your Google Assistant on your iPhone, they're going to force that, which uh, you know, I guess that might be convenient if you just really want Alexa, but okay, good. But uh,
Turn on.
yeah, I mean that again. I don't think that should be forced on anyone, right? If someone wants to hinder their own company by not allowing that thing, so Android actually lets you do this already. If you want to use the A word as your primary assistant, you can do that. If you want to use OK Google, they'll let you do that. Basically, whatever one you want to pick. If you want to use Cortana, I'm pretty sure you can use Cortana. They will let you use whatever one you want to use, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you want to have customizability, you can always use Linux. And some people, they just want the simplicity of having the S word. I got my phone right here, so I can't say it. They want to use the S Google, the Apple S Assistant to just be simple. And I can't blame them for that. There's some people that's just how they operate, but that's not me, and I don't think you should be trying to force people to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I've read a couple articles about it, and I'm not a fan. And there's still more things to it, right? Right.
Mhm.
So I'll just quickly go over the other ones, right? The other one, right to uninstall. So basically, you should always be. They're going to legally compel whoever makes your device to let you uninstall whatever software you want. I use Linux. I can uninstall whatever I want. If that's something you're really concerned about, it already exists out there. It's not like they're oppressing you. The other thing was they're gonna force. This one just seems like a blatant. You know, European companies aren't competitive, so they're gonna try and heel cap American companies. They're gonna force bigger companies to give away their data to smaller companies if they're competing with them. Which obviously that's just you know it's not like they're forcing other people to make a better product. It's just they're forcing big companies to give away their stuff for free.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they're going to implement that one. Like obviously TikTok's not going to give away their algorithm to HickTok.
Yeah.
So
So it sounds like we need to move to the EU, yoink a bunch of algorithms,
that's
and
not a
come
bad
back.
maneuver. Yeah, because if you look at the European Union, they really don't have any big tech companies. If you look at the biggest tech companies, they're all in America or in Asia. So
This is true.
maybe this is their way to try and make Europe competitive.
They have Brit talk.
Did they really?
I don't know, but I
Oh,
hope
okay.
so.
Yeah, so maybe that's just maybe that's what they're trying to do is hinder other companies well because they already have very strict data laws in Europe. They have the I think it's called the GDRP. Make sure I didn't screw that up. Or the GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. They already force American companies to set up business in Europe so that they can store their data there. Not that they're doing anything unique over there. It's just you have to store European data in Europe. Basically just force them to make jobs in their own continent. So the other thing, we don't know exactly what happened with this. If you're an avid follower of the channel, you would notice a video got uploaded, and we're not really sure where that video came from or how it got uploaded. So hopefully you didn't click on the link. We didn't click on the link, which is why you got to use your common sense.
Yeah.
It was a video to download FL Studio.
Which is free.
I didn't know what FL Studio was. Um,
Neither did I.
so I was kind of like, I don't know
But
what
it
this
also
is.
got 1,000 views in the first 14 hours.
It did that. It did. So I was kind of like, man, maybe we should just leave this up. So because I saw it, And I just didn't say anything because I was like, man, this video's kicking ass. I was like, hey, shout out to whoever did this. I don't know if it was Wenzel or Patrick, but
I should have
man, that
took
was,
credit.
yeah, I was like, hey, man, you upload that video? And then you were like, no. So I was like, oh, maybe it was Patrick. I talked to Patrick. He was like, I didn't upload any video. And I was like, man, I was just trying to congratulate whoever did it because they were doing they didn't need to keep doing whatever they were doing. So hopefully that solved itself. We all did our change our password. Hopefully no one clicked on it. Hopefully we all assume it's a scam or someone just hijacked our channel's good reputation on YouTube. Not that we're like a
Hmm.
big channel or anything, but we are in good community standing with quite a few uploads. So hopefully none of y'all got viruses or anything like that. The last thing I wanted to talk about was an idea for a better subreddit. So it seems like a lot of the subreddits we go onto where there's conflict or there's supposed to be some kind of gray area, there's just never a gray area. It's always just a complete one sided story where very clearly OP is never the bad guy, or very rarely are they the bad guy. And if they are the bad guy, it's because they violated the Reddit hive mind's core tenets, right? So these subreddits like Am I the Asshole or r/advice, I think there needs to be a subreddit like r slash both sides of the story or something where
Yeah.
both you have to like get both people to get on there and both of them post their side of what happened, and I don't know, some like Judge Judy style deliberation happens in the comments, and Reddit decides who is I don't know who's at fault maybe or who's liable to whatever happened. Because it
That would
seems
be an.
like
Go ahead.
it seems like that's the number one thing on all these subreddits is whoever's posting it is posting like their side of the story, their interpretation of what happened. Maybe they're even like, even I'll go on r/am I the asshole, and some people are like, you went straight from this to that, like there was nothing that happened in the middle, and then like in the comment section, sometimes OP will be like, okay, well, I guess I did call them an asshole, which is why they flipped me off and didn't come to my dinner later that night, you know. And that's very rare that they'll do that. But normally they'll just leave out all that and they'll never admit to that. So that's why I think, or at least there needs to be a reply, right? Where we wait for the reply to the defendant, and then we'll post the whole thing all at once.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good YouTube channel where it's like this, and then you style it like a shitty Judge Judy, and it's
Yeah,
all just like on a Zoom call. And when they're like arguing, you silence in the court, you just mute them both and unmute one.
yeah. They need to have that on debates for real, like the political debates. They'll give like the
Yeah,
politicians a timer, but then they'll never like their timer will be up and they'll keep talking for like another 30 seconds. Like
yeah.
when your time's up, and that's it.
It just mutes their mic.
Exactly.
I would be way more into political debates then.
Yeah.
Just to watch people get cut off and then slump back down, all pissed off they couldn't finish.
Yeah.
Just moving on.
You got your
Oh, you're done?
I said that was my last one.
So, as tradition, we have a Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my daughter if she continues to crush my son's dreams, she's gonna be homeless? My younger son, Sam, he's 16, is interested in being a video game developer like his cousin Mike, 26. Mike has been great at sending my son little exercises and programs. Sam is autistic with ADHD and I think it's sweet how Mike and his wife will send him the latest information on video game design and are really supportive. They talked to him several for profit. That they need to change that. For a profit university, knowing my son isn't the best traditional student. My daughter Sarah, 24, that was a pretty big age gap there,
Hmm.
just moved back home. I guess she's having a rough time and lost her job, and moving back home with us was a blow. She has been bad-mouthing Mike and his wife, saying they aren't that smart for going to a for-profit university, and she hopes they enjoy dying in student loan debt. She told Sam if he can't cut it in high school and has to go to a university that he has to pay to get his degree, then it's worthless. She's been saying horrible things to Sam that I didn't even know about. Sam goes into a meltdown and deletes this game he's been working on for months, saying he's so stupid to be a game designer and doesn't want to die in debt. I get feeling at where this is coming from, and I confronted my daughter, and she told her if she ever does anything like this to Sam again, she can move out and be homeless for all I care. I'm not tolerating her toxic bullshit. My daughter cried to her mom and went to cry in her room about what a terrible father I am. I'm not going to let her insecurities to be pushed on my son. Edit, correct the typos, and on mobile. Oh, okay. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, I would say no. It seems like the daughter is, she's made some mistakes. You know, and now she's trying to, I don't want to say, prevent other people, because you can definitely prevent other people from making the same mistakes. But, you probably put her insecurities on other people, right? It seems like maybe her cousin Mike is in student loan debt, but it seems like it's probably worth it because being a game developer pays above average, pays pretty good. And I mean, maybe you're in debt to get the above average paying job, but generally that does pay off. But if she probably went to school and she probably got some degree in something worthless, like we always talk about, and now she's I don't know, maybe she went to like an Oxford and got an art degree, right? Who knows? And now they don't pay people to draw dogs or whatever on the internet very much. So now she has to move in with her parents, and now she's going to treat all degrees like they're worthless. Yeah,
Hmm.
probably something like that. But long
Yeah,
story
no,
short, no. I mean, you're 24. I'm 24. I think you're 24.
I'm 23. I turned 24 in April.
Okay, so I think both of us wouldn't, probably wouldn't call our autistic younger son, assuming we were in this situation. I don't know, tell him he's going to be homeless if he keeps following his passion, which being a game developer pays pretty well.
Yeah,
So,
like if he can develop a game,
hmm,
dope.
yeah.
The sister is being
What
a
school you
dick.
decide to go to do that? Obviously, if you go into like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt, then you might be in debt your whole life, but that probably wouldn't be a very substantial payment for you.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean, I guess we made different decisions than this 24-year-old daughter. Maybe if I was had spent the last 6 years in school and moved back in with my parents after going into a bunch of debt, maybe I would also be pretty salty as well. I'm trying to sympathize in some way, but I mean I'm just having a hard time. So
Mhm.
I don't know what else to say other than that. I
There
mean,
was there was an OP response.
obviously OP is not the asshole. No.
Yeah,
Maybe
his
he's not the
response.
best dad in the world, but
Yeah,
I
his
mean,
response.
actually, no, I would say, yeah, man, I'd say he is because it's the mom's job to, kind of, oh, be nice all the time. But it's the dad's job to you. You got to crack down on them kids sometimes. Be like, hey, you're being a fucking asshole, and you can go live in the fucking woods for all I care if you're gonna keep being an asshole.
Hmm.
I got dogs, and I got to do that.
The poster replied with, "I feel like maybe I acted too harsh to my daughter, but she is an adult and shouldn't be treating her brother like that. He really enjoys game design, and I think it would be a great fit for him."
Yeah, I mean, you said it there. If he was doing something like, "Oh, I just love basket weaving," and then his sister was like, "You're gonna be homeless if you go to school for basket weaving and pay a bunch of money for
Hmm.
that,"
Like, yeah,
then
that
I'd be like, "Okay, you know what? You can't be mad at
she
her. That's the truth."
she
But
might be onto something there.
yeah, that's definitely she's being a good sister. But at that point, that's not what's going on though. So
Hmm.
yeah, no, it's not even an everyone sucks here. He's just not the asshole.
Mom sucks because she's not stepping in wherever she is unless she's dead.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you only need you gotta if you have two parents in the house, maybe you gotta play good cop, bad cop,
Yeah.
because you don't want to just have everyone attacking this girl, obviously. But obviously something need to be said, and the dad said it. So I think it's all good in that house.
Trying to imagine having a 16-year-old sibling and going up to them and telling them that their dreams are dumb and they shouldn't
Yeah,
do them.
yeah. I
Like that's not something I would do.
no. Yeah. I mean, unless their dream is to just like sit at home and smoke weed all the time,
Yeah,
which
then I'm like, you need
yeah,
to
man, you might
fucking
you might be homeless pretty soon here. Yeah, you're gonna be in debt
like
your whole life.
you're just sitting here smoking dope,
Yeah,
eating chicken fingers, no hash coin. You gotta leave. Go do something productive.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe
But
sell drugs. Bring in some income.
yeah, go be a drug dealer.
This is not legal advice or financial
Yeah,
advice.
this is not.
If you are a drug
Unless you
dealer,
can potentially legally deal drugs, then that seems like a pretty good
yeah.
business to get into. If you can
If
get
you
a dispensary open, that'd be a pretty good business.
man, if Texas legalizes, I'm starting a weed farm.
So, I lived in Arizona when they became a legal state,
Hmm.
and my brother was best friends with someone's dad who was an illegal marijuana seller, right? And they didn't even, so the state, they didn't just let anyone open one up, right? There was a lottery. So it wasn't like, oh,
Oh.
yeah, it was like, hey, maybe there's 10,000 people who want to open up a dispensary. We're going to let like 3,000 people open up. And then like those 3,000 people who won the lottery, the weed dispensing lottery license or whatever, right? They were making bank. But then
Yeah,
everyone else was kind of like left high and dry.
I would still apply even if there was a lottery. Because like, if you win, like in Texas, Texas is pretty big.
Yeah.
If you win that and know how to grow good stuff, which I
Yeah.
know people who know how to grow good stuff,
Well, so the thing is, right?
it's also a plant. How hard can it be?
Well, hold on, hold on. These people have been doing some. Have you watched weed growing videos recently?
I'm very interested in hydroponics.
Let me tell you, weed growing is very different, right? Because they're like doing genetic mutation and stuff, and they got it surrounded by like aluminum foil 22 hours a day. They got special types of lamps and stuff. They're like, it's a very involved thing. So I think if you're gonna make it, right, you would have had to been doing this illegally before you
Oh yeah.
start, you're not just
Well,
gonna walk into that business right now and
thankfully, one of my family members in a legal state does grow,
oh, okay, so maybe you got some
so I could be
connections.
like, I'd be like, hey, can give me your book.
It's not what you grow, it's who you know, is the saying.
Exactly. Because if I can grow some good stuff up here in northern Tejas, and there's only 3,000 of us for the state, yeah, I'm gonna make money.
Yeah.
If illegal dealers are making money and I can come in and sell it for like $5 less than them, and it's legal, yeah,
Well, so the thing is, right, with all the taxes and all the other business costs associated with running a business, it is more expensive to buy legal weed, but most people are willing to buy legal. So,
yeah.
you know.
I if some dude on the street was selling, if caffeine was legal and some dude was selling monsters on the street corner, or I could go buy a regulated monster, I'd go do that.
Yeah, I would pay extra for it to be legal. So, and most consumers are like that.
Because then if I got pulled over and they're like, "Where'd you get that?" and I'm like, I lost the receipt," they're probably just gonna destroy it,
Yeah.
and then I'll be fiending when I should have spent the $3 more and got it legally.
Facts. You got another
Do
one?
you know it's Do you know it's also a fact?
What?
We don't have an outro.
Oh man.